$166 billion in refunds and interest on top of that as well. Even for the US government, it's no small amount, and it's a logistical nightmare because it's...
Oh, and here's a better kick in the nuts, Dems. This is going to rich corporation, the same corporate billionaires that you guys complain about on a daily basis. Congratulations, you just argued for billionaires to get a bailout, pretty much. Isn't that hilarious? I know, y'all was shaking y'all ass in a circle for the corporate elites, but it's all good now. It's all good. You got what y'all want, right?
To happen over 60 to 90 days. And here's the way it works. Only importers of record can file for the refund. So that's the big companies like Walmart and Costco. You and me, I live in the US, so I paid the tariff at some point. Not so. Just how much of a mess is this? Because I'm actually quite surprised, Oliver, that they have at least put in place a bureaucracy to handle it. Now, whether it turns out to be efficient and practical is another matter.
So like I said, this is why what this guy is, celebrating doesn't matter. Because due to the fact that he brought down the International Economic Emergency Powers Act, or due to the fact that Supreme Court pretty much said that Trump can't use that to invoke tariffs, Trump used Section 122 of the Trade Act of 1974, which you can impose a temporary import tax that lasts up to 150 days. Now, within this 150 days, he can put in an investigation that's going to be done by the U.S. Trade Representative Jameson Greer and Scott Bessent, which pretty much are two trade representatives, to invoke Section 301 of the Trade Act of 1974, which we can go ahead and initiate tariffs if we can prove that unfair trade policies are being enacted. And of course, there Section 232, which also requires investigation by our Commerce Secretary, which would be Lucknick. So yeah, and that's part of the Trade Expansion Act of 1962, which pretty much say we can also put tariffs if we also see unfair trade acts through the investigation that has to be done by Howard Lucknick, which would be our Commerce Secretary. So this is why this win doesn't matter, because they're still paying tariffs, guys.
Yeah, that's right. The court has been holding the government's feet to the fire. It's been asking for updates regularly, and the government has been filing declarations explaining how the process is going to work. Obviously, we can expect some bumps in the road, but as you said, at least the machinery is in place to get this going.
Right, but then we end this with a very tricky problem. I paid the tariff, ultimately. I'm the consumer. I mean, yes.
No, dumbass. No, the tariff is paid by the importer. The Walmarts, the big billion-dollar companies that you guys say y'all hate so much, that need to pay more taxes. Yeah, we kind of were making them pay something to, and literally making them pay for, undermining the American people. But you guys wanted to shake ass in a circle for the corporate elites and go against tariffs. And guess who are going to get the refunds, dumbass? The same corporate elites that you guys hate. You guys have now initiated a $166 billion bailout for them. Congratulations, dumbass. And I'm sorry, I'm a little upset at the Dems right now, because it's like, yo, you guys are supposed to be like the bastions, like honestly, when it comes to going against crony capitalism, y'all supposed to be the front runners. So when the tariffs came on, I expected you guys to honestly support it or condemn Trump for not going harder, because you guys hate the corporate elites, the crony capitalism, as much as we do. But because y'all hate Trump so much, y'all was supporting the crony capitalism just through your hatred of Trump. And it really showed. I mean, damn, y'all hate Trump more than y'all hate our corrupt capitalist system. And I'm a conservative saying this, guys. I love capitalism, but I don't like this crony capitalism. It can be fixed, but it ain't going to be fixed if you guys shaking y'all ass in a circle for the corporate elites because you hate Trump.
Importer might have done, and then Walmart paid it, but I paid the higher price that Walmart charged. Do I get anything back?
Not from the government. As you said, only the importers of record can request.
And here's the thing, which is true. They could pass it down to the consumer depending on the saturation of competition in the market. You always got to remember that. Like tariffs, they don't go directly to the consumer depending on the market. I always do say that. If you are in a low competition, I mean, you don't have any competition, that means you don't really got to worry about, really heating on your price or really worrying about you raising your price. Why? Because who else is challenging you? Especially like think about cell phone companies. They raise their price as much as they want because they have low competition. So that's why we don't like monopolies, because they control prices. But when you're in a highly saturated market, like a lot of these importers are, it's really hard to pass the price along because you don't want to lose market capital. But here's the thing, like I said, I'm not saying that the price can't get passed down directly to the consumer, but then you also got to talk about, well, how much of the tariff is the consumer paying? Because is the importer taking it on their overhead or their profit because they can't pass it down due to the fact that they'll get priced out of the market? Or are they only passing down, I don't know, out of a 10% tariff? Are they doing the whole thing, 5%, 2%? There's a lot more that goes into it. And this is why you guys will not be seeing a tariff refund check. Why? Because we don't know how much was actually passed down to you guys. All we know is for sure that the importer paid 100% of it, though. We know that for sure. We don't know about you.
And receive a refund from the government. There have been a few lawsuits against Costco, for example, by consumers who paid a higher price at the checkout, but directly from the government, consumers cannot get a refund.
So if all these importers and their various subsidiaries and large companies are getting refunds, does this become de facto a windfall for them? Because I hardly see them turning around to me and say, those oranges you bought, Mr. Quest, I need to owe you 15 cents back on them.
I mean, thank you.
I don't know how much it would be a windfall for individual companies.
But now I think I explained that pretty well, guys, on why it's pretty much nothing burger. Is I know the Dems are celebrating, and I know you Dems are in here going like, damn, said I really thought that was a win. And I'm like, hey, look, I'm actually happy that Trump's able to keep it going. So I may not agree with you on it, but hey, I feel your disappointment. But all right, now shout out to But yeah, shout out to my man Chad, because I did appreciate that comment. And make sure to double tap that screen and like the video, guys. Appreciate the support, by the way. If you have any question, comment, jokes, or disagreements, feel free to super chat it in. Appreciate the support. All right, guys, let's go ahead and go over to the next one, because it's funny in a way to me, because I think we're picking and choosing. Like, guys, so a U.S. Special Forces soldier arrested after allegedly winning 400,000 bet on Maduro raid. And bro was in the raid. He knew it was going to happen. He was like, boy, I'm doing this on my life. My man put $33,000 down, won 400K on a raid that he participated in. I mean, respect. Well, you want to know why I say respect? Because you're like, said that's inside trading. That's wrong. Well, our politicians do it, and they don't get caught up. And here's the thing. I mean, I think it was Paula Luna that was out there pretty much saying, no, we need to pardon him, because if we're not going to hold our politicians accountable, countless politicians that we know for a fact did inside trading, then who are we to arrest this guy for it? Like what are we doing? And I mean, he's a U.S. soldier, and trust me, bro might actually need it. I know bro needed more than these fucking politicians do. So, I mean, I'm just being fair here. I mean, if we're not going to stomp down on politicians, then why are we on his ass? If we're going to send him to jail, then please. I mean, we got like 3 other politicians that need to follow him in.
The soldier who was involved in the capture of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro has been arrested and is facing 5 criminal charges. Prosecutors allege that Master Sergeant, his name is Gannon Ken Van Dyke, bet on the
I think that's kind of fair, bro. Bro has stake in the game, man. He put 33,000 on an operation. He's like, man, I better get Maduro. If we don't get Maduro, bro, I'm out 33,000, guys. We got to get Maduro, bro. I'm not leaving here without Maduro. I can only imagine that man's desperation in that moment. When he got Maduro, bro, he probably had the biggest sigh of relief. Man. Thank God we had them at direct energy weapons.
Operation and won $400,000 in profits. They claim he opened an account in late December on Polymarket, which is an online prediction market, placed about 32,000.
Hey, and shout out to my man Chad for the GOAT trophy, bro. Appreciate the support. All right. Oh, guys, let's make sure to double tap that screen and like the video. Hey, shout out to my man Noah Joyner in the general chat. I sent the YouTube video of veterans getting arrested for protesting the war in Iran. Bro, I mean, man, hey, look, it was that one veteran that stood up. What was it? Was it during a congressional hearing? I'm not really sure. But he stood up, started yelling at the guys, and they started dragging him out. You know, the bald guy who's a Marine, supports Palestine and all that good stuff. Respectable guy. I actually respected what he did because nobody wants this war with Iran. Nobody wants to go to war for Israel. Damn it, it's making me think of that one Lego song, like your government's ran by pedophiles. Oh, no, never mind. I'm done. But shout out to my man Noah. Sorry, guys, I'm having a bit of an ADHD moments. I have an ADHD moments today. I'm getting easily distracted for some reason.
$1,000 on a long shot bet that Maduro would be out by January. He allegedly made 13 bets in the days before the capture. Now the case is raising questions about insider trading on prediction markets on the Iran war. A reporter asked President Trump about it.
Are you concerned that federal employees are betting on these prediction markets and potentially getting rich?
Well, I don't know about it, but was he betting that they would get him or they wouldn't get him?
It sounds like he was betting on his removal from office, that Maduro would be removed.
Well, that's
it sounds like
interesting.
he was involved in the operation.
That's like Pedro's betting on his own team.
Yeah.
I'll look into it. Yeah.
There are also bets that are being placed as well on the Iran conflict too, and there have been some trackings where people suspect that they're.
I'm just saying, bro, politicians has done way worse. Bro, this man put 30,000 on the line with his life. I respect that way more than politicians that's inside trading because they know a guy. It's like, I'm sorry, but I kind of respect bro right now.
There's insider trading happening on these prediction markets around the war. Are you concerned?
Well, you know, the whole world, unfortunately, has become somewhat of a casino.
The president later adding, quote, "I don't like it conceptually, but it is what it is." Joined now by two combat veterans. Margaret Donovan is a former Army captain and a JAG officer. She's also a former federal prosecutor. Adam Kinzinger is a former Republican congressman and retired Air Force lieutenant colonel. Margaret, what is your reaction to the arrest? How unprecedented and concerning is it? And the president's reaction to it? It is what it is. He doesn't like it, but the whole world is becoming a casino.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, look, I read the indictment and I think it's a really righteous case. This is particularly troubling conduct when we're at a moment where our military's credibility is in question, to say the least, in many of our operations. And so I think it's really important for the Department of Justice to bring cases like this and to show that we are willing to.
No, I called this out too. I said, one, like when we start doing like, mobile sports gambling, I said I ain't gonna lie, guys, I don't even know how y'all trust sports anymore. I said, as soon as that came out, the integrity of sports is over. It's like, I just don't trust sports. I no longer trust the NBA. I no longer trust the NFL, not even hockey. All of it's now rigged because there's now gambling involved, like across the nation gambling. So, yeah, I think we kind of just ruined the integrity of sports through these sports betting apps. And also, we probably ruined the integrity of people's speeches and politics and people's own decisions because of these, predictive markets. And the thing is, I'm sponsored by Kalshi and I'm saying this. So trust me, it don't serve me no good telling you this. I'm telling you this just because I actually care about what's going on. And I just don't like it. It's ruining the integrity of things.
To respond to corruption. Keep in mind that Maduro has his own criminal case in SDNY right now, and no doubt his attorneys are going to point to this and say, see how corrupt the arrest was? So I think it's really important that the DOJ pursues this. It's a strong indictment. It looks like their evidence is very reliable, probably from Polymarket itself and the Soldiers Google account. And I suspect that, this will be a pretty important case going forward in terms of how the DOJ can deal with these Polymarket bets.
Congressman, were you surprised? I mean, there's someone.
But all right, now, guys, enough of that. Let's get over to our guy here, James O'Keefe. Now, this was the video that PXF was asked about. All right. So, Andrew Hugg, branch chief, nuclear and chemical, whatever, U.S. Department of the Army. All right, here. He said Trump might kill the next guy, his Khomeini's son. All right, guys, let's get into this because this is what. This guy here no longer works at the Department of Defense no more, and this is who Hegseth fired. But all right, let's get it.
He might kill the next guy, his son. If he does the same ways, they gotta kill him. We're gonna shoot missiles and destroy some.
Yeah.
Oh, and shout out to my man Noah. He said he's like that song is "Your Government is Run by Artists, Dirty Commie." Also, many people no longer have morals. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I just don't get it. I don't know, guys. Like, all I know is that if I was in government, or maybe let's say I ruled America or king of the world, I would not allow that betting. There's a reason why God did not allow betting. One, because it's addictive, and two, because it ruins the integrity of things. Like, come on now. I thought we learned, guys. I thought we learned from the Bible, but apparently, though, we want to ignore that and we want to make everybody gambling addicts. God bless us, man. Really, God bless this young generation, because they're the ones really getting hit by this. But all right, let's get to it.
He might kill the next guy, the son. If he does the same way as did everything kills. We're gonna shoot missiles and destroy some stuff.
Yeah.
But if you want to like win, if you want to like make the country do what you want, you have to put people there.
I was hearing something that we killed kids in the car. Did we actually?
Well, there's been some collateral damage, yeah, for sure. They always die in war. So they're ready to a chemical weapon. It's like Pandora's box.
A nuclear and chemical safety branch chief in the United States Department of the Army spills detailed information about their possession of nerve agents.
And lungs won't work, your mouth won't work, nothing will work.
Revealing that a U.S. Army chemist was exposed to the nerve agent due to careless handling.
She's supposed to wear all this gear, and she's like, I don't like it. She just wore like Crocs and her own clothes.
Yeah.
And so it's soaked in her clothes. And just soaked very well on her skin. So she could literally start touching stuff. Other people would touch like a door, and then people would die.
Then goes on to reveal intimate details about the U.S. nuclear arsenal.
So you said there's missiles underground.
Yeah.
Also discloses that the United States military has no official plans to nuke Iran.
We're not thinking about nuking anybody. We're not moving nukes. We're not going to nuke it.
And the exact methods that the U.S. uses to defend against nuclear attacks.
We have all these sensors in space. We have radars, all these sensors to detect a launch. Space satellites with radars, you'll see it on the radar. You actually see the thing flying.
And confirms what many have suspected, that Ukrainian officials were using the money sent from the United States to buy themselves mansions and luxury sports cars.
I worked on Obama's tax money that he said. They just stole it, and they bought houses, cars, like $100,000 cars. If they can get themselves rich and leave and go live in Dubai, that's better than, they don't care about the people. That government is so corrupt. You're not a spy, right? No. Your eyes have mesmerized me so much that I'm almost going to tell you. That's the easiest way to get intelligence. Like, just send a pretty girl, talk to the guy.
All right.
I'm independent journalist Brianna Morello, here filling in for James O'Keefe for the latest exclusive report inside the U.S. Department of the Army.
I do work with like chemical weapons, nuclear weapons, but I do the safety, security stuff. I was the chief of chemical nuclear surety, which that's like not many people like outside, but in this world, surety means safety, reliability, security. It's like all the surety just means like all the things to keep it safe. I make sure that people are reliable. There's no psycho people working on the weapons. You don't want a psycho person with access to that stuff.
Andrew Hogg is a nuclear and chemical surety branch chief with the U.S. Department of the Army. He reveals a surprising amount of detailed information to our undercover journalists about the locations of the U.S. nuclear arsenal and the methods that are being used by the United States to defend against foreign nuclear attacks. To protect U.S. national security interests, we have omitted certain pieces of information from this report.
So you said there's missiles underground.
Yeah.
Oh crap! Did I miss a couple?
In the Cold War days, we had them like all over the place. But now we've kind of shrunk them down with Russia working with treaties. But then now you got China that's like, well, I don't have a treaty. So China's building more. They're planning to build more than we got.
Okay,
so
really?
That's the problem. Like, we have all these sensors in space. We have radars, all these sensors to detect a launch.
All right. Oh yeah. Shout out to my man. Mike Yang. He sent the chili for 6 joules. I made sure I got Josh for the clapping seals. And of course, I made sure my man Chad, appreciate the support. Oh, and of course, this guy. It's like, damn, bro. This is why I said it seems like, I ain't gonna lie, guys. You know, if you really want to know all the secrets in the government, just find you a beautiful girl in a country somewhere and just ask her, and actually just hang around rich guys, because you know apparently they just can't shut their mouths. Not just rich guys, but well-connected guys as well. If they got an interesting job that they can brag about, they're going to talk to a pretty face. Like, I mean, bro, at this point, I truly do think that beautiful women know more about our government than your average man does at this point. This is crazy. I mean, what? Look, they're talking. Shoot, we never get this out of them. Like, what? Even if I was this man's best friend, he wouldn't tell me this. But, oh, he goes on a date with a girl. He's just opening it up, man.
We have all these sensors in space. We have radars, all these sensors to detect a launch.
You detect the launch coming from someone else?
Yeah, with space satellites, with radars, you'll see it on the radar. You'll actually see the thing flying. You'll know how big it is, the speed. You'll know that's a missile. I mean, you can tell all this stuff.
According to Andrew Hugg, nuclear officials that oversee the missile launch procedures are trained to initiate a launch even if it is a Girl Scout who presents the launch order with the correct codes. Fire.
We're literally trained that, if a Girl Scout, this is serious, we were always trained, if a Girl Scout gives you a message, a launch message, she knocks on your door, goes, here you go, she gives you a launch message on a box of cookies, she wrote it down. If it passes all the checks, go.
I ain't gonna lie, that's wild as hell. He basically saying, you know what, bro, look, man, a little girl could walk up with, and I don't know how, but maybe accidentally guess the right launch codes, says, here you go, and then they go launch it. Like, yep, we gotta go. So pretty much, yes, a little girl could walk in with the launch codes, and they gotta go launch those codes because, well, man, I don't know, maybe they're assuming that it came from the president. Wild.
If she just passes it on to you, that's all we're trying to say. No matter how you get it, take action. Because that's how you have to do it in a war, because you don't know.
Yeah.
They can take down most of the communication.
Right.
So it's an extreme example, but we actually would train that. Like, no matter what, you go.
While the example may sound humorous, imagine if this branch chief was actually talking to a Chinese spy. He has now just revealed where our nukes are stored and the exact method we would use to defend ourselves against Chinese nukes. And even revealed that if China wanted to trigger a false launch from the U.S., all they need is the launch code and a Girl Scout. On a second interaction, Andrew Hugg went into details about the war with Iran, confirming that there are no plans.
Yeah, that's not something I feel comfortable knowing. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Like, I'm glad I know it, but I don't feel comfortable knowing it for some reason. It's like, oh, so we can get into a nuclear holocaust if somebody just finds out our launch code. So get and send it to send it to a guy like him. He's gonna go off it. Oh, yeah, I mean, good to know, but uncomfortable knowing.
Plans to nuke Iran. But in the wake of the February assassination of the Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, Hugg tells our journalist that President Trump is going to kill his son, Mojtaba Khamenei, if he, quote, doesn't change his ways.
Do you think we're not moving nukes to, we're not going to leave it. We're not doing that now. Yeah. We're not thinking about nuking anybody.
Yeah.
Do you think we're going to?
I'm be honest with you, like, well, even when the reports coming out that Trump was talking about nuking them, I was like, I'm sorry, but no. If he was to nuke Iran, like I'm be honest with you, one, of course, there's gonna be the military, military collateral damage, and then of course, there's gonna be the fact that all that nuclear waste is gonna go right into the to the Strait of Hormuz, to the Arabian or Persian Peninsula, or depending on who you ask. And that's going to ruin a lot of people's water. Like the water desalination plants will be useless because, well, the water is contaminated and not just with salt.
Sounds good. Yeah, I don't know who, but he might kill the next guy, the son.
His son?
Yeah, because the son took over. He won't be any different.
Oh, you think they would kill his son?
If he does the same way, then he kills.
The journalist goes on to ask Andrew Hugg about the March 2026 strike in Minab, Iran, which killed over 150 school children. It has been deemed a violation of international humanitarian law.
This is the moment a missile slammed into an Iranian base in Minab. Weapons experts tell CNN the wings and tail are consistent with a Tomahawk missile. This new video is the clearest evidence yet that suggests it was the United States that struck an elementary school next to that Revolutionary Guards base.
And bro, it was the sick story that we tried to sell. The people was, oh, don't you know that Iran, they're just murderous. They fired a rocket at their own girls' school. I'm like, I'm sorry, bro, but like, look. I get this is an extreme regime, but just to kill a whole bunch of little girls in a school, bro, you really believe that? Like, you really believe that? Come on now. Like, sure, they some evil bastards, but not that evil. Like, damn.
Killing scores of students.
To which Andrew coldly replies,
I don't
quote,
think
"There's been
anybody's
collateral
that evil."
damage. They, meaning kids, always die in war."
I was hearing something that we killed kids in the car. Did we actually? I didn't walk through.
I'm sure there's been some collateral damage. Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, they always die in war. If you fight, I mean, so, but.
Oh, we actually did kill kids out there?
Not intentionally, but yeah. Well, I'm sure.
I mean, obviously it wasn't intentional. Even I said it looks like we just got bad intel. I'm not saying that we did this on purpose, but we definitely got bad intel. I mean, I think they explained it as well. The pictures that we got were 10 years old because in 2016 they made it into a girls' school. So it's been a girls' school for like 10 years, before we blew it up. But yeah, and apparently we got, pictures from before that showed it as an old IRGC naval base.
We killed civilians in Iraq.
Come on, bro. Like, yes, dude, we can't say that. We just can't say that outright. Like, we don't know for sure. But due to the excuses that they're giving us, Guest Dude says it was intentional. What I'm giving you the unbiased perspective of, well, they said they got old satellite image pictures. So they didn't know it was a girls' school, and they thought it was an IRGC naval base. Does it make it right? Of course not. But you got to give them a little bit of grace.
Around that relay, look at every single possibility. What size weapon we're trying to do here. So let's use this weapon versus that weapon. It might be safer in the school over here. Yeah,
no, I mean, Guest Dude, you're giving really good arguments. I'll be real with you. It's just that I'm just telling you what they told us, is as wild as it sounds, but you're giving really good arguments. I'll tell you that right now. But I think it's because we went off of the Mossad's info. That's probably why. We went off Mossad's info instead of, doing our own research. But for some reason, when it comes to the Middle East, we kind of leave everything up to Mossad. Not everything, but most things.
Oh, it's here. It's an apartment building.
But perhaps the most disturbing of all, Andrew Hugg details how the U.S. is researching and developing nerve agents or chemical weapons in a laboratory in Aberdeen, Maryland.
So nerve agent is a chemical weapon that if you spray it on people, it will make a certain enzyme, which is called cholinesterase. It regulates your neural transmissions, okay? So with this chemical, with this nerve agent, it kills that enzyme. And lungs won't work, your heart won't work, nothing will work. We have this here in the same environment.
The nerve agent that Andrew is describing here is sarin. It's a highly toxic human-made organophosphorus. Sarin acts as a potent inhibitor of enzymes, and over time, the binding becomes irreversible. In 1997, the U.S. joined the Chemical Weapons Convention, which bans the development, stockpiling, and use of chemical weapons. The U.S. had about 30,000 tons of chemical weapons, including nerve agents. In July 2023, the U.S. completed destruction of the last declared chemical weapons at the Bluegrass Army Depot in Kentucky. As long as the nerve agents are not weaponized, the U.S. is allowed to conduct research and development for scientific purposes, such as preventative treatment. However, this becomes more concerning when Andrew Hugg reveals that one of the chemists in that lab was so careless, refusing to wear appropriate safety gear, that she accidentally exposed herself to the nerve agent.
She was just being lazy, and she wore Crocs, and she, got lazy.
What? Who's she? Or what did
she's a lab chemist. She's a lab tech. She's supposed to wear all this gear, and she's like, I don't like it. She just wore Crocs and her own clothes, and so it's soaked in her clothes. And just soaked very well on her skin, so she could literally start touching stuff. Other people would touch like a door, and then people would die.
Journalists also questioned Andrew Hugg on Ukraine and whether the diplomats were really using U.S. aid to buy themselves mansions and sports cars. And the nuclear branch chief confirms, quote, "They stole our money. They bought houses, $100,000 cars. They can get themselves rich and go live in Dubai."
Like I said, I lived in Ukraine and worked there with the government. Really? That government is so corrupt. Like, they stole our money. Like, I worked on Obama's tax money that he sent. They just stole it, and they bought houses, cars, it's like $100,000 cars. They're officials in the government, so they get their hands on the tax money from you and me.
Oh my gosh.
You know, so crazy though, and they'll never tell Dems this. They won't, because Dems in their heart want to believe that we're truly helping out Ukraine. We need to send more money to them, when really we're just paying for, well, a bunch of Ukrainian officials or government officials' fast car lifestyle. Like, bruh, fast cars, nice houses, and trips to Dubai, all on the American dollar.
They're like, oh yeah, and then now that it's like 100 billion, 200 billion, they're like stealing it all. So,
dang. Okay, so why would they use that money for that? Wouldn't they need it for like nuclear weapons?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, exactly. But but if they can get themselves rich and leave and go live in Dubai, that's better than they don't care about the people. No, they couldn't care less about the people.
Andrew Hug even details that he personally witnessed 10 Ukrainian officials steal $1 million each and immediately spend it on luxury cars.
Like, you can tell about Ukraine and how corrupt. And like, when I was there, they stole $1 million one day. That was the first thing I saw stolen, was $1 million, and they bought these guys that make $350 a month in their political job. Each guy, 10 guys stole $1 million. They each bought a $100,000 car, like BMW 7, Range Rover, all $100,000 cars from the money Obama gave. Yeah.
The branch chief claims he reported it to the Obama White House, to which they replied, quote, "We don't care."
What? AKA, we pretty much pay them to sit there, I guess, I guess listen to what we say, and as long as we send them money, we don't care. As long as the Ukraine do what we want them to do. That kind of sounds like the arrangement, because they're just recklessly taking this money as if it's owed to them. I mean, they're not even being sneaky about it, especially if bro over here found out. And you would think if they actually cared about being caught, they'd make sure a U.S. official wouldn't have found out. So, because they're going to report it to the president or the administration. And when bro reported it, they said, bro, look, man, that's just how it is, man. Like, well, look, we went the USA, it's one big money laundering system. Like, and that's how we get our operations done. So we give out money, they take it with the money, they do what we want them to do, and they get rich off it. I mean, look, bro, just mind your business. If you can't handle it, look somewhere else.
I reported it, and guess what the White House said? We don't care. Don't talk about it. We don't want that in the paper because it makes Obama look bad. It looks like he's not in control. Yeah, they don't care. It's like, it's $1 million. We don't care.
For the end of the interaction, Andrew Hug waited for the journalist outside of the bathroom and confronted her, asking whether she is a spy, indicating that Andrew is well aware that the information he was spilling could be severely incriminating if she, in fact, were a spy.
Hey! You met me. That's so sweet.
You're not spying. You're not spying, though, right?
You're just powerful.
But you're not spying, right?
You're just powerful. And I like that. Let's go back to the table. Okay.
As political tensions appear to be reaching a boiling point all over the world, and the U.S. officially entered a state of open warfare with Iran, national security and discretion is more important than ever. Andrew Hug is lucky that he was talking to an OMG undercover journalist and not an Iranian spy, as he casually discussed Trump's strategy and intentions. When a top nuclear official is this loose-lipped about our defensive measures, Iranian war plans, locations of nukes, while our country is actively at war, it puts every single one of us in mortal danger. And as always, if you are on the inside of any government agency, federal, state, or local office, and you see corruption, if you know that the American people are...
That is hilarious. Bro's like, so you're not a spy, right? I mean, bro, didn't you think you would have, like... So when did it come in your head to ask that question? Like what? Like midway through you spilling all these secrets, or at the end of the spiel? Like when did that come into your head? Because it's a little late. like in the bathroom after you told all of hanging outside the bath after you done told her all of U.S. secrets. Like, so you're not a spy, right? Dude. Oh man. I can see why he was. But all right, guys, let's get into some. Well, I think there's a bit of a double standard here. So under Biden, when Hunter Biden made money, we were upset about that, doing these shady business deals. We were pretty damn upset, rightfully so. So guys, we got to keep that energy for Trump's, kids as well. Yeah, Trump's kids have been getting rich on the sideline, possibly allegedly doing inside trading and all this good stuff. So we got to also, be consistent. I think you know, Don Jr. and Eric Trump and of course Barron Trump are pulling in. They're pulling a Hunter Biden right now. The Trumps are pulling a Biden. Hopefully not. Allegedly, reportedly, supposedly. But all right, guys.